I think what you are best doing is approaching it because you want to create content and you want to connect with others first. And if that works and it scales and it has an impact, then yeah, monetization might be an opportunity for you. But I think what we've seen happen over the last few years, and I think it's hurting the industry right now, is people coming into the industry of content creation and podcasting with the expectation of making money from it. And that's causing a lot of disappointment if it doesn't happen. When Steven also writes, I don't I don't care about money. S- Stephen Carter, I mean, most people do care about money. So I do think that you're approaching this from an altruistic perspective, and I respect that. And I totally understand that. I'm not monetizing this podcast either. So it's one of those things that is part of being a content creator these days. It's not always easy. Now, granted, I do have a monetized channel on YouTube and do make some money from that. And I'm trying to grow that. Stephen also writes, hone your craft and enjoy the ride. I couldn't agree more, Stephen. I've got a 20-year background in podcasting and radio and doing video and those kind of things. And I have enjoyed the craft and have enjoyed the ride, just like what I'm doing right now. This is like where I am right now in a place and time. This is the newest thing that I've done. This is the latest thing that I've done. And in some ways, I think it's probably some of the best things that I've done is the last few episodes of this podcast tip series. And I do a couple other shows. I do one called Behind the Wheel, the Spoken Life podcast, and I also do it's a 12-year-old podcast called The New Media Show. And that's also a weekly program that talks about the podcast space and the industry. And I would love to have you tune into that as well. That's a show that I co-host with Todd Cochran, the CEO of Blueberry. And so we've been doing that show for over a decade now, every most every week. And it's an hour and a half program that we do live. Um, and it's on Wednesdays. So I'll be back next week with another episode of Podcast Tips with Rob Greenlee, and that's at 7 p.m. Eastern on Thursday nights and 4 p.m. Pacific. So thank you so much and good night.